I am so delighted, buenos dias, to be with all of you here today. Thank you, Chairman Stephen, and my fellow members of the ABNY board for the invitation, and thanks to ABNY's dynamic CEO, Melba Miller, who mentioned that she's a CUNY alum, right? But there's a story there. She's on her third CUNY degree, right? So she's been coming back for more, and we look forward to soon calling her Dr. Melba when she finishes her PhD in social welfare at the Graduate Center. And I think that it couldn't be more fitting that this great organization, ABNY, that is dedicated to making New York a better place, is led by this wonderful CUNY alum. Want to also greet the members of the CUNY Board of Trustees who are here, Chairman Thompson, who was already saluted by Stephen, the Vice Chair, Sandra Wilkin, who's here with us. The student trustee, Salimato Domboya, is also here with us. You can give them some love. And greetings to my favorite regent, Chancellor Lester Young. Thank you for all the work that you do, and great to see so many other elected officials. Many of you are also CUNY alums, so thank you for being here with us, and thank you for the support that you give our university throughout the year. I've been looking forward to this morning because it's an opportunity to talk with you about CUNY and its place in the city at such a transformative time. Of course, I feel like I got some home field advantage here because ABNY and CUNY are connected and aligned in so many ways. For decades, ABNY and CUNY have shared a mission of making New York City a better place, and our partnership has never been more important than it is now as we pull together on the road to recovery from the pandemic. New York's recovery must be equitable. It has to lift all New Yorkers, particularly communities of color and residents who were underrepresented in careers long before the pandemic. No other institution is better positioned to lift up New Yorkers than CUNY. I mentioned Melba's background, but I imagine that most of us in this room have some connection to CUNY. In fact, I'm curious, and I'm going to do a little bit of an exercise here. I'm going to ask for a show of hands to see how many of you either attended a CUNY school, have a family member who attended a CUNY school, have been a CUNY student, or have worked at CUNY. So will you please raise your hand if you fit that? I think my job here is done. Right? What a great illustration of CUNY's footprint all throughout the city. The story of the City University of New York began 175 years ago with a school called the Free Academy. It was created to educate and provide access, equity, and opportunity to people and families of modest backgrounds. The Free Academy became City College, and in the century that followed, Hunter, Queens, Brooklyn, and 3 community colleges opened their doors. In the volatile 1960s, city and state leaders recognized that expanding affordable public higher education was critical to transforming and rescuing New York City. Those early schools unified under the City University of New York banner to expand access to underserved populations. Through decades and generations, CUNY has shaped and transformed the city's professional and middle class. We are also one of the city's most important resources of research and creativity. I could do an entire ABNY breakfast on the research generated by our faculty that improve the quality of life of New Yorkers on a daily basis. Maybe you'll invite me again for that, all right? Furthermore, CUNY campuses are anchor institutions that are vital to the civic, economic, educational, and cultural life of their communities, their boroughs, and the city. And we are also a real estate powerhouse with an ongoing multi-billion-dollar capital construction program. And thanks to Governor Hochul and state lawmakers, we now have an additional $1 billion in capital funds to spend on new buildings and critical maintenance. You can clap, yes. 60 years after the creation of our unified system, we are again at a pivotal moment in the university's history, and it comes at a critical time for the city. This presents all of us, CUNY educators as well as business leaders and elected officials, with an opportunity to rethink the university and ensure that it continues to meet the evolving needs of today's city and the next generation of New Yorkers. Our commitment to you is to transform CUNY into the higher education system our city needs today and in the decades ahead. Today, you're going to hear about all the ways that CUNY is transforming itself to be the entity that helps lift New York City as we come out of the pandemic. These initiatives and partnerships are part of a new CUNY, a CUNY that I believe will be more vital to the city than ever. We are ready for the challenges that transformation brings, and we need all of you here today to be our partners. Let me tell you why I believe that you should partner with us at CUNY. Because you need excellent, diverse talent, and we are the best and most abundant source of that talent. We are one of the largest, most robust university systems in the entire country. We have 20,000 faculty members from all over the world who are experts in their fields. They include MacArthur geniuses, Nobel Prize winners, and cutting-edge researchers. And they are working, in many cases directly with all of you, to prepare the next generation of experts and innovators. Our graduates are Rhodes Scholars, Fulbright Fellows, and industry leaders. Every year, our campuses turn out thousands of professionals, workers who know New York City, understand New York City, and are committed to staying here. And every day, I see the real-life results of investing in our work. They are conveyed in the stories of our students and our graduates. Let me share one such story with you. 7 years ago, Stephanie Nuesi came to New York from the Dominican Republic, speaking little English y mayormente hablando español. As a student at York College and later at Baruch, Stephanie developed an interest in business, and she began to thrive. A couple of years back, while walking with her mother in Manhattan, they passed by the offices of Google, and she told her mom that one day she was going to be working in that building. Stephanie, her mother said, "Mija, you are dreaming too high." Well, Stephanie graduated last year with an accounting degree, and now, at the age of 23, she's an associate financial analyst at Google, and also the CEO of her own startup company, a Korean consulting firm that helps college students achieve their dreams. I think that deserves a... We are preparing our students not just for the jobs of today, but for the challenges of tomorrow. We've learned to meet students where they are, to enable more New Yorkers to access an education and get the skills they need to meet the demands of the workplace today. And the workplaces of this city will certainly benefit from their perspective. Our students mirror the diversity of the 5 boroughs. They are a pivotal part of the solution when it comes to ensuring that candidate pools for in-demand jobs reflect our city. According to an upcoming report from the Center for an Urban Future, in a recent year, CUNY graduated more Black and Latino students with tech degrees than all the undergraduate degrees combined awarded by Columbia University. As I outline our plan to equip our students to enter the workforce, here is what I ask of you today. Be part of those students' success. Mentor them, and then, after you mentor them, hire them. And do it again, and again, and again. Our students leave CUNY with the talent, the expertise, and the assets to help your organizations thrive. And if your employees need to learn new skills, send them again to CUNY. We are committed to working with you to propel your businesses and this city towards a more equitable and prosperous future. But there will be no silver bullet to transforming talent pipelines across the city. Together, we have to pursue a constellation of big, ambitious aspirations that aim to transform the way we do business at our core, not just around the margins where it's easy. You all know that talent lives in every corner of this city, in the classroom, down the block, at the desk, and in the warehouse. We have to reach them and help them reach their futures that they can only dream about today. The first guiding principle that we've embraced at CUNY is that we must meet talented New Yorkers where they are in their career path. There's so many New Yorkers who want education or training to make themselves more marketable, but do not necessarily want to pursue a degree or are not in a position to do that right now. We are supporting them, and we want to continue to support them. During the pandemic, we launched CUNY Upskilling, a program to help thousands of New Yorkers acquire the skills and knowledge to secure jobs in fields like healthcare administration, data analytics, marketing, and infotech. Already, 7,000 New Yorkers have been helped by this program. We knew the need didn't end with the pandemic, so this week we announced an important expansion of this program. Upskilling Part 2 will allow 2,000 additional New Yorkers to take more intensive courses intended to lead directly to a job and provide credit towards future degrees. There will be more than 50 courses available at 11 campuses thanks to a $2 million investment from the New York State Department of Labor, the Bank of New York Mellon Foundation, and J.P. Morgan Chase. Our second principle is to partner, and partner. We must partner with industry, with government, and with employers across the city to move the needle. Our mayor understands how important it is to make sure CUNY is a go-to place for all industries when they're looking to hire talent, and we're about to make that easier. Mayor Adams, I'd like to point out, twice a CUNY graduate himself, all right? And I are proud to announce today the launch of the CUNY Inclusive Economy, a public-private partnership that aims to connect 80% of CUNY graduates to careers by the end of the decade, 80% by 2030. That's our goal. It's ambitious, and we're going to meet it. We have already secured $60 million in commitments from the city and private partners. We have amazing partners, including Cognizant, Amazon, the Carina Endowment Fund, Robin Hood, and CD&R Foundation. And we have a clear roadmap that builds on our previous success. The inclusive economy is not just starting from scratch. It builds on proven models for connecting students to in-demand careers. We are expanding the capacity of our campuses to grow and sustain talent pipelines with employers across multiple industries, with a particular focus on the fast-growing fields of tech, healthcare, and green jobs. To further prepare students for the many opportunities that are going to be generated, we also plan to connect far more of our students to paid internships, including community college students. So some of you know that this is a passion of mine, and this is why. It's very simple. We have found out from our tech students who participate in internships, they're 3 times more likely to secure a job upon graduation, all right? And we've also seen how important paid internships are. They put money in our students' pockets, and they help them accumulate invaluable experience and social capital and networks. Through university-wide programs alone, we have connected more than 6,000 students to paid internships over the past 18 months. We're excited to grow this number as more companies enter the fold, and I hope that many of you today will join us in that endeavor. An example, Centerbridge, a leading investment firm, took CUNY summer interns this year because they realized that it is the best way to build diversity and change the nature of their workforce. But it is not just diversity that we offer. The quality of our hardworking students has long been admired in the workplace. Journalist Soledad O'Brien, who regularly fills her pool of company with interns from CUNY, has publicly called our interns simply amazing, right? And that opportunity is ready for all of you to take advantage for. CUNY has partnered with organizations and agencies to create opportunities for students to gain paid experiences in real estate, healthcare, and even, thanks to a program that I developed with the New York Yankees, sorry for the Mets fans here in the audience, while I was president of Ostos in the Bronx, a program in professional sports management. I am also particularly proud of our CUNY Cultural Corps, a pipeline program that was developed to train students for jobs in the city's robust arts sector. This great program, which expanded last year thanks to a $2 million gift from the Mellon Foundation, has placed more than 800 students in internships that help them lay foundations for fulfilling careers in arts and in arts administration. Our third guiding principle, look to the future. Let's not only meet the needs of today, let's anticipate where those needs will be in 3, 5, and 10 years down the road. Earlier this week, we also announced a nearly $4 million investment in partnership with the New York City Economic Development Corporation that would allow CUNY to expand green technology workforce development programs in 6 colleges across New York City. The new programs will train students the new programs will train hundreds of students each year for careers in the development of electric cars, offshore wind and solar, and the growth industries that come under the umbrella of renewable energy. This investment not only helps us battle climate change, it equips people of all backgrounds to compete for jobs in a critical growing sector that is sorely lacking diversity. CUNY is also uniquely positioned to help New Yorkers from underrepresented populations prepare for technology careers. In fact, we graduate more than 9,000 students annually with STEM degrees, including 4,000 students with just plain technology degrees. Sadly, these students are not always ending up in your offices. One of the reasons is because they lack the connections or internship experience that help many of them get a foot on the door in your companies. The other is that, and I'll be the first one to admit this, it hasn't always been easy to work with a big institution like CUNY. We want to change that, and we will change that. We know that with 25 campuses, sometimes employers need a central point of contact. That's why I recently formed the Office of Career and Industry Partnerships, led by Lauren Anderson, who's here today. Lauren, please raise your hand over there. And Lauren has already talked to many of you, right? And she's ready to welcome more into the CUNY family as we create that central point of contact for all industries in the city. As we can see, we're incredibly busy, and we have to be busy. New York City is depending on CUNY. We graduated almost 55,000 students this year, and the vast majority will stay in New York and join the local workforce. These students staff some of our city's most critical workforce sectors. Each year, CUNY graduates about 1,800 nurses. That is about half all the new nurses in the city in a typical year. We also award more than 5,000 degrees and certificates in education and supply a third of all the new teachers that start at the New York Department of Education. We've also been busy pursuing partnerships with leaders like you for several years, and we're excited about some of those partnerships that are already underway. In the summer of 2020, with the city at the height of the shutdown, we began a partnership, and Stephen alluded to that, with the New York Jobs CEO Council, a new organization led by JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, and a great friend of CUNY, and the heads of 28 of the largest employers in the New York City area. Already, that partnership has 1,300 students have earned credentials co-designed by industry in 10 in-demand fields like data analytics and cybersecurity. During the pandemic, we also unveiled the CUNY Futures in Finance, a comprehensive workforce development initiative with Bloomberg, Centerbridge, and Goldman Sachs that would cultivate and train CUNY students for careers in the financial industry, one of the largest and most sought-after employment sectors in New York. Earlier this month, CUNY's Future in Finance held a recruiting event at Bloomberg with 15 leading finance employers and students. These connections are vital because many of our students don't have exposure to professionals in these fields and therefore don't see themselves in these careers. CUNY needs to provide that connection for our students and the employers. We've also been working with small businesses. After all, small businesses employ more than half of New York City's private sector workforce. We have provided paid internships to 125 CUNY students to work in small businesses all across the city. We have plans to expand these efforts in future months, and our efforts are important to help small businesses recover from the pandemic. We're also talking to the city's Small Business Administration to help them support MWBEs, an important sector of our economy too. To expand the access to a CUNY education even further at this critical time in the city's history, we're working to draw back thousands of former students with the help of an exciting new initiative driven by the City Council Speaker Adams, another CUNY graduate, by the way, CUNY Reconnect, which Speaker Adams announced at an ABNY breakfast several months ago. This program will target 700,000 working adults in New York who have earned college credits at CUNY or someplace else, but never finished their degree. Through this program, we are reaching out to engage these former students and re-enroll them at CUNY. Governor Hochul's new investment in TAP funding for part-time students would also significantly help us bring back as many as 37,000 students from low-income New Yorkers to come back to CUNY who cannot do it in many times because they have family obligations or they provide a barrier to their work and returning to CUNY. With this support, we'll be able to bring them back and help them get the credentials they need, complete the degree, and go get even better jobs. We have many of these win-win partnerships in the pipeline, but we want to do much more. To you, my message here today is pretty simple. Pretty simple. If you believe in New York City, invest in CUNY. And let me say it again. If you believe in New York City, invest in CUNY. Think of us as a partner and envision our university as a solution to your needs. Remember that every year we turn out tens of thousands of graduates who are well prepared to join the workforce and begin meaningful careers. They are diverse, brilliant, full of tenacity and grit. Their life experiences have taught them how to tackle challenges. So if you're an employer, come to find the talent you need at CUNY. If you can't find people with an emerging skill you're looking for, look for CUNY to partner to upskill your workforce. Help us keep curriculum and programs current. Help us think about what is coming next in the world of work. Collaborate with us to provide paid internships and apprenticeships. And if you own a business, partner with a CUNY startup. And if you're a CUNY alum, there's always plenty of ways to lift up people that are back in the places where you were on campus. Interview our students for jobs. Help them find the success that you have achieved. Come back and help us prepare those who want to follow in your footsteps. If you do any of these things, what I think you will find at CUNY is a university that is worthy of your support and your confidence. A university that is building on its storied mission every day, transforming itself in ways that are carefully conceived to lift our students and benefit our city and our state. A university that truly values our stakeholders, their needs, their ideas, and their contributions as a critical element to our success. And that means everyone in this room. I hope that you will join us, support us, work with us as we move forward together on the road to a better and more resilient New York. And I thank you for your support and your partnership. Muchas gracias.